What's good, my Critty fam? And we're back! And we got another banger for you today. If you haven't caught up, catch up. If that even made sense. But first and foremost, hit that subscribe button wherever it may be on your screen or your phone. Take your mouse, take your finger to where it says subscribe, and hit click. That's all you gotta do. Join the best channel, the best family on YouTube, and it's absolutely free. You don't even gotta fill out your name. What have you got to lose? Hit that click button or that subscribe button. I can't even talk. I'm so ready for this video. We've been on these videos of these crazy dash cam videos, crazy Ring doorbell videos, and now today we got the first one we're going to be reacting to is the most horrifying things caught on the police body cams, which I said too in all these other videos, like where the hell do they get all these clips? Like people send them in like from their doorbells, their dash cams and shit. And that's just ordinary people that randomly catch shit. Police are literally out patrolling all day long. So a police dash cam or their body cam is obviously going to catch the most crazy, wildest shit, right? Because anytime something happens, the first thing you're going to do is dial 911. So anytime there's crazy shit, there's going to be cops there. Or cops, because they're always patrolling in their cruisers, always end up walking up onto some crazy shit. And mad people give, police hate, like hate the cops and shit. Yeah, which, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of cops out there that abuse their badge, and I've done videos on those too, reactions to, like, just cops power tripping, you know what I'm saying? You give that gun and a badge to just anyone, and that power that they think they have goes to their head. Yeah, those are scumbag officers. They can go that way. We don't deal with them types of cops over here. But shout out to the police that are actually out there doing their jobs, like protecting and serving, not out like trying to harass and attack. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are supposed to be here to protect us and work for us, not work to find a reason to, beat up on or arrest innocent people just so you get like a fatter paycheck, or again, just that power trip of knowing like I passed the test, I graduated high school, now I got handcuffs and a gun, so you can literally kidnap people. And like, these cops do all types of crazy shit that have power with them guns and badges. And that's a lot of the videos too that we get into, as like cops power tripping like that and doing crazy shit to people. But that don't ruin it for the good cops that are out there saving lives, or the firefighters that run into a building burning to save a child, or a cop that runs in, guns blazing and there's a kid in there and he runs in to save the kid's life. Or, cops do put themselves in life-threatening situations, and they have families to go home to as well. Like, they're people. So, not to distinguish the bad apples from the good apples, but you get what I'm saying. So these cops see a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? You gotta understand, like, that will take a toll on you mentally too. Like, again, I don't know, I'm not a cop, I never, you know what, let's just get into the video and see what these cops come across on this one, because this is the first police body cam compilation video that we're gonna be doing. So let's just see what these cops come across. Might be some crazy shit, might be saving lives, maybe shootouts, who knows? When you go into work as a cop, you never know what's going to happen that day. So, who knows how random this video is going to be.
The duty of a police officer is to protect civilians. As civilians, we don't get to see much of the day-to-day of what goes on into being a police officer. However, due to the advancements in technology, police are able to wear body cameras, which help ensure their safety as well as the civilians. Some of the footage from these body cameras is very terrifying, as police officers come into contact with all sorts of horrifying situations.
Facts.
Here's 12 of the most creepy police body cam footage that's ever been recovered.
Ooh,
Ghost Girl attacks police officer.
Mountain Dew, sponsor me.
In this video, a police officer walks into an abandoned home. He holds his gun out as though he's expecting someone as he searches through the house. The home is in terrible shape. There are holes in the ceiling, wall, and floors. As he makes his way through the house, the sound of a woman crying can be heard. The officer alerts whoever is crying that he's with the police and that she should show herself and put up her hands.
Which department? Anybody in here?
Show your hands! Make yourself known! There's no response to the officer, but the crying stops. He enters what appears to be a bedroom when a large bang comes from behind him. He whips around and sees a woman move behind the corner. The body camera starts to glitch and the officer's flashlight starts to flicker as he follows her into the hallway. The woman has long dark hair and is...
Come on, you stupid ass ad. Want to see the woman with the long dark hair?
Woman has long dark hair and is wearing a white nightgown. The officer tells her to put her hands up, but his flashlight goes out.
Oh!
Right now! King 1, did you copy that? When it turns back on, the woman is right in front of him, and her face is terrifying. The screen goes dark as the connection to the body cam is lost. It's unclear who the woman was, if she was a real ghost, or what the officer was doing in the house in the first place, but the video is horrifying.
I was thinking that. Oh, we gotta go back. We gotta go back. Because first of all, like the dude narrating this video just said, why is the cop in that abandoned ass house to begin with? But then you gotta think it can't be a prank because his body cam's rolling, so like cops only hit, record when they're about to walk into a scene or something. Like, so I doubt that this would be some sort of prank. And if the people in this abandoned house called the cops there to scare the cops or prank the cops, I don't think she would have ran after him like that, knowing that he had a gun out, and he clearly fires the gun. Man, that one's creepy. See, this is where I love to, like, you guys got to start commenting on these videos, please, like, especially these new ones, because I want to know what y'all think about this, like, these videos. I really do. Like, do you think that's a ghost right there? You think that's just some crazy crackhead lady that probably ended up got shot to death? Or what? Oh, man, watch your face when she comes running at him.
Right now! King 1, did you copy that?
Right there. It didn't even look like she had a face.
When it turns back on, the woman is right in front of him, and her face is terrifying. The screen goes dark as the connection to the body cam is lost. It's unclear who the woman was, if she was a real ghost, or what the officer was doing in the house in the first place, but the video is horrifying. Young girl escapes house of horror. 17-year-old Jordan Turpin placed a 911 call saying that she had escaped.
I've heard of this girl before. I think she was on the Dr. Phil show. Jordan Turpin. Long blonde hair, beautiful girl. If I got this story right, this girl, all these girls were locked up in this house for so long. If this is video I'm thinking of, when this girl escaped, she didn't even know what a stop sign was, I think, or a sidewalk. But then she ended up doing an interview, I believe, on Dr. Phil or one of them TV shows later on in her life. And you could tell, like, she never went to school because she kind of has, like, a speech impediment almost. But she turned out to be a beautiful woman. This has got to be it.
Her abusive parents and needed help saving the rest of her siblings.
I just got away from home because I was in a family of 15. We had abusing parents. Did you hear that?
Police arrived to meet her on a street near her house. The video is quite disturbing because despite being 17 years old, Jordan looks much younger due to malnutrition. She also talks in a kind of broken English.
Yes.
Jordan tells the officers that she's never spoken to a person outside her family before.
That's crazy, right? She's never... Oh my god, dude, this story was so sad. I watched the full story on this. She's never even spoken to a different person outside of the household before. Let's not...
So it's very difficult for her to talk.
I've never talked to anybody out there, so I've never been alone with a person, so this is very hard for me to talk.
The officer asks if she's on medication, and Jordan asks what medication is.
Do you take any medication?
What's medication?
Medication?
Yeah, what's medication?
Do you take pills?
It's clear that she's had very little education
she didn't
and is
know what
terrified of
medication
talking to
is.
strangers. It turns out that Jordan is one of 12 siblings being held hostage by their parents, Louise and David Turpin.
My parents are abusive. They abuse us.
The officers would go to her house and find them all chained up and in the same condition as Jordan, malnourished and petrified. The oldest sibling was 29 at the time and the youngest was 2. Jordan's brave escape saved her and her siblings from their life of torture as their parents were sentenced to life in prison. Disabled woman saved by police
So they
officer.
didn't tell a full story. Yeah, so the cop ends up going there and they find all the kids chained up. And the crazy part is, like, the parents had money. The mom had, like, a crazy shopping addiction. And it's fucked up because she would buy she had, like, a weird fetish for kids' toys and, like, kids' clothing. Yet, none of the kids were allowed to touch the toys, play with the toys. They weren't allowed to wear any of the new clothes. Like, they were literally just in rags and had nothing for years. And one day, Jordan, I don't remember how, but she got her hands on the cell phone that she ultimately used to run away and call the police. But she seen a music video, a Justin Bieber music video. And that's literally, like, when she learned that there's life outside of this house. Like, her whole entire life, you gotta think, like, if you're born into a cabin in the woods and you never leave that cabin, you never watch television, it's only been you and your parents, and, like, you think there's nothing else in the world, it's just you three, this cabin in these woods, you wouldn't know any better. How would you learn? Like, she didn't even know what medication was. That's how sheltered these kids were. And the parents brought them out one time and dressed them all in the same exact clothes, and they had, like, a weird, like, wedding, like Elvis Presley type of wedding, and then they had the kids stand in the photo for, like, the wedding photo. Narcissist ass parents, as they're dressed different, they buy these dresses for their kids, right? And then after the picture, they were forced to take the dresses off and get back into their nasty, scummy ass clothes that they never get washed. And they weren't allowed, I think they were only allowed to eat, like, a piece of bread and peanut butter on it a day and a glass of water. These parents, oh my god, dude, that story was so sad. And they were doing it, like they said, the oldest one was 29, and then the youngest one was 2. So they were doing this for the span of 30 years to these children. Dude, that whole story messed me up when I heard that, especially because, like I said, my beautiful daughter is now in. God, like, doing something to a child is disgusting in itself, but being able to do that to your own child, who you look at and you see the resemblance of you, and you brought them into this world, like, they didn't ask to come into this world. It gets me mad just thinking about shitty, scumbag parents like that. Like, if you don't want your kids that bad, go bring them up to CPS and drop them off, or drop them off at the police station. Save yourself some money. Save yourself the aggravation. Whatever it is that these kids cause you. They didn't fucking ask to be here. So if you don't want them, give them the parents out there that can't have kids, that would love and take care of them kids and cherish them. And like I said, man, shout out to Jordan for saving all her siblings like that. And not only that, she ended up going and getting her GED. Like, she ended up getting an education. Like I said, I don't know what she's up now to. I think after I heard that story, I tried looking her up on social media, but I don't think I found anything. But there's a few pictures of her. Like I said, I think she went on Dr. Phil. I want to say it's Dr. Phil. And beautiful. Just a beautiful woman. And to think, like, her and them siblings, because her sisters are very pretty as well, to be able to make it out of that, not only alive, but start thriving after that, man, shout out to them girls.
A police body cam captures horrifying footage of a wildfire in Sonoma County, California. It looks like a scene from a movie, with a whole neighborhood up in flames and the sky raining ashes.
Holy shit.
The police officer goes from house to house, calling out for any survivors. Another officer hails him over, needing help carrying a woman to an ambulance.
See, right here. Shout out to the good cops out there. This man didn't hesitate, bro. He pulled up in the car. It's looking like it's snowing out there. That's how bad the fire is. He didn't even hesitate. He got out and ran house to house searching for someone to save. That's what good cops... Man, take this dude as an example. That's what the police should be doing right there.
Come on, she's disabled.
Shout out to these cops, man.
The woman is disabled, unable to walk for herself. One officer takes her upper body while the other officer grabs her legs, and the two carry her to safety.
Sir, you gotta go!
The courage of these officers is unbelievable, as they put themselves on the line to save people from the flames.
Facts.
SWAT team saves children from being held hostage.
Another one.
In this video, a SWAT
Most people have no
Of course,
clue
you gotta
that
hit us with the
one
ad
of the
there
best
so we
ways
stay
to
in
make money
tune.
on Amazon is not with physical products.
Another house of horrors with these kids, man. Come on.
A SWAT team responds to a hostage situation in a Colorado home. A man holds 4 people, including 2 children, at gunpoint inside a house.
I need to make sure that everyone's okay.
SWAT team enters the home, but the man is upstairs with the family. Because he's holding a gun and threatening to start shooting, some of the members from the SWAT team walk around to the back of the house to see if they can find another way in. One of the officers sees a child waving for help in a window.
There's one right here. Is it cracked? No, somebody's waving at us. Open your window.
The team finds a ladder and climbs up to the window. The SWAT team is able to sneak the 2 children and their dog out of the house without the gunman knowing.
Oh,
You gotta start getting ready to go.
thank God.
The footage is heartbreaking because the children are so scared because of the situation. Luckily, the SWAT team was able to save all of the hostages without anyone being hurt. Creature jumps at officer
Man,
during
shout out to
search.
those cops too.
In this video, a female officer is conducting a search on a man who appears to be homeless. They've arrested him and are searching his coat and all his pockets for weapons. The officer retrieves a bottle of liquor and a pair of socks when something jumps out of the man's coat. The officer screams in terror, putting the other officer on high alert.
I'm so sorry. It's just a lizard.
The arrested man laughs because he had forgotten to tell her that he had a lizard in his pocket.
I forgot about it. You guys yell at her now. Next time, let her know, okay?
The lizard was frightened when the officer started searching the man's pockets and leapt out of his jacket to escape. While this video is terrifying in the moment, the officers share a laugh as they originally had thought that it was something much,
Who
much
keeps a
worse.
lizard in their...
Ghost of dead child caught on police body cam.
Dude had a pet lizard with
Chris
him.
Watts was sentenced to life in prison after he admitted to murdering his wife and 2 young daughters. A Netflix documentary
this
was made
piece of
about the
shit
murders, and after
scumbag.
it was released, viewers noticed something supernatural in some of the recovered police body cam footage. The footage in this video was taken before Watts had admitted to the murders, and police were just responding to his calls about his wife and children being missing in the footage.
Yeah, dude's a piece of shit. Piece of shit.
Watts is making calls to family while police stand by. The daughter's bedroom door is open behind him, and you can see a small child standing in the doorway. This is terrifying as there were no children in the house, because
What?
Watts had already murdered them and hid their bodies at the time. When viewers saw this footage, they believed that it was the ghost of one of his
Yo,
daughters.
I've never seen that.
Container flies off truck and crushes pool.
Hold on, pause. That Chris Watts story was huge when it hit. That was national news. That story was on the news every day for weeks, all the way up to when that scumbag got sentenced, and then he got attacked in prison too, which deserved. They should have blew his asshole from the inside out. But yo, I never seen that though. How did I never come across, like, how did that video not go as viral as all of his other shit, him being the scumbag that he is? This whole little 10-second clip of the child being in the... Yo, that would have tripped me out. Wow.
Police car. This footage comes from a police dash cam. In the footage, a police car up ahead has pulled the car over to the side of the road going across a bridge. The weather is terrible with dark storm clouds and high winds. A large container truck drives past the police vehicle and a gust of wind knocks the container off the back of the truck, crushes the police car.
Yo. Facts. About long time ago when I was a kid. And this is exactly why I do not drive on the side of semis. Well, not only that, just a couple years back, I was driving home from Florida, and I was all the way in the left lane, like near where the wall would be, and this truck was in the middle lane, and they started to veer over, so I had to get all the way into the far right, like parking lane or whatever you want to call it. I'm beeping my horn, I'm screaming, I'm yelling, I'm waving out the window. I swear to God, I was probably an inch from the wall on this side, and like from where my mirror was, I could have reached out and slapped this fucking truck. Like 3 more inches over and he would have crushed us. He would have killed all 5 of us in the car. Thank God. Everything happens for a reason. The last second, he must have seen me in his mirror, or if I was in a blind spot or something. But at the very last second, he veered over. And thank God, so I sped past him. But I always had a fear of that, because when I was younger, my aunt, so my mother's sister, my aunt, her best friend was driving over a bridge, a 2-lane bridge, next to a semi, and unfortunately she was with her daughter at the time. Again, y'all know I don't like talking about kids, anything bad happening to kids, but shipping container did the same exact thing. It fell over right onto her car, my aunt's best friend and her daughter, and took both of their lives instantly. Rest in peace to them. But it's exactly why I do not, will not, and won't not ever be driving on the side of these semis.
Car and falls off the side of the bridge. Apparently there was an officer inside the vehicle when it was hit by the container, but he survived with no injuries.
Damn, yeah, that
Officers
was
saved the
watching
life
over
of a
him.
choking baby. In this video, officers pull over a car that's driving recklessly on the road. When the car pulls over, a frantic mother exits the car and calls the police officers over to help save her baby. The woman's 3-month-old child is pale and gasping for air after choking on some food. The officer is surprisingly calm as he takes the baby from the car and pats the baby's back, dislodging the food from the infant's throat.
Man, I didn't even think I was going to be able just to watch this at first. And it says, saves the choking infant. Bro, again, that happened once with both of my daughters. The first time my other daughter, her mom was home with me, and she started choking on a piece of food, and we had her flipped upside down, doing the whole 9 right there. And I just jammed my finger in her throat, and I made her throw up. And thank God it worked, because the ambulance wouldn't. This is why choking with kids scares me the most out of anything, because if you can't save their life in that moment, what are you gonna do? Like, if you're not right next to a hospital, or like, the ambulance is not gonna get there in under 2 minutes. Like, how long do you think an infant can hold its breath for? A child. So when they start choking, you literally have to save their life in that moment. So the second time it happened to me, we were at the playground, and my daughter had like these little Skittle things. But after you suck on them for a minute, they get soft, so you can chew them. So it's not like a hard candy. So I was letting her eat some, but obviously not when she's playing on the playground. You're not allowed to eat candy. But when you come and sit over on the bench, you could have a piece of your candy. So she came and sat on the bench, so I wasn't thinking anything of it. And next thing you know, I look over at her, and she's standing up like, I could tell she was choking. I hate even talking about it. So her face turned, her face was beet red. And I was getting so scared. I got goosebumps again thinking about it. I was so scared. Nothing was working. I was smacking her back. I was sticking my... I was sticking my finger down her throat. Everything. Nothing was working. And her face started to go from like red to like purple. And there was another lady with her kids at the playground. She comes running over. She didn't even speak English. I think she was Bosnian. She was speaking in a different language. But she obviously, like, you don't have to be a rocket scientist or speak English to, be able to notice what was going on. And I think she could tell how scared I was on top of what was happening to my daughter. So she ran over with me, and we had my daughter upside down, and I don't know, she did something to her back. Like, she started like rubbing her back. Like, honestly, I don't even know what she did. I think at that point I blacked out, and I think that she could see that coming, that like how bad I was freaking out. And I couldn't even, I think I dropped my phone because I think I was like, I don't even remember. I think I was screaming for someone to call 911. God, it happened so quick, but it seemed like it took a lifetime, and that I can't even remember the details of it besides just seeing her face changing colors. And just her eyes were watering, and just like knowing she couldn't breathe. And this lady, whatever she did, my daughter spit it up like it came out. And then she just took a deep breath, and like within seconds, all the color flushed back into her face. And she was terrified. She didn't eat another piece of candy. She literally took the bag of candy and threw it in the garbage. And she loves candy. So for her to be mindful enough to know, like, eating that candy, like, caused that to me. Like, it made me feel like that and choke and almost, whatever. I don't even say that out loud. But that could have been a lot worse. And, like, me not being with their mother at the time, like, being by myself, made it even worse. Because as she was choking, this is my younger daughter now, my older daughter also recognized what was happening. So my older daughter came over. Now she's screaming and crying for her little sissy, she calls her, because she loves her little sissy. They love each other so much. And this lady, I don't know what she did, but she, like I say in every one of these videos so far, everything happens for a reason. And that lady was at that park for a reason that day. And even if she somehow magically in this world is watching this video, she doesn't even speak English, so she probably don't understand it. But my God, I will never be more thankful than that lady that day. And I knew she couldn't understand what I was saying afterwards, but I was just hugging her and I was crying, and I could just see it in her face that, like, I don't know, she had to have been a nurse or something, the way she was able to stay so calm like that. And then she was able to calm my daughter down because I was freaking out still, and then she calmed me down. That lady was an angel, man. Man, yeah. She saved my daughter that day and saved my life, because if anything happened to my daughters and I couldn't save them, I don't think there'd be no saving me. So that lady was an angel that day.
When the child starts crying, the officers give a sigh of relief. In the moment of pulling the car over, the officers didn't realize they'd be needing to save the life of a child. But because of their training, they were able to do it.
Thank God. Shout out
Police
to
chase
those
ends
cops.
with a crash. In this footage, taken from a police dashcam, the police officer turns on his lights and siren to pull over a vehicle up ahead. The vehicle speeds up and changes lanes. However, a group of cars are stopped at a light in front of the speeding vehicle, so there's nowhere for the car to go. It crashes into a large pickup truck, sending sparks and metal scattering across the road. The officer exits the vehicle with a gun in hand, telling the perpetrator to exit the vehicle with their hands in the air.
Show me your hands! Open the door! Open the door! And get on the ground now! Get on the ground now!
Police officer hit by drunk driver. In this video, a police...
See, hold on. After all this good shit I just said about cops, you just watched that terrible car accident take place. And now I'm only saying this because I've seen this in other videos, where there was a dude parked on the side of the street. He wasn't even driving and crashed into a car like that. That was crazy. And this dude was just parked on the side of the street, and he was having a medical emergency. I think he was having a stroke. And the cops roll up onto him like that with their guns drawn. Get out of the vehicle! Like, and then he pulls that kid out and throws him on the ground. Like, what if he wasn't running from the cops? Or what if he wasn't drunk driving? What if he was having a medical emergency? Like a story I told, if you didn't catch the last video, go check out the last video, the 8 crazy dash cams. The dude passes out at the wheel and his foot goes down onto the gas, and he goes flying off the road through a fence and all that shit. But that happened to me once before while I was driving. I started having a seizure while I was driving. Except luckily for me, I was at a light when it happened, and I put my foot on the brake, and my leg tightened up like as I seized up, so it stayed on the brake. And like I say, everything happens for a reason. My boy pulled up on the side of me, and ended up saving my life, long story short. But how do you not know, like, the dude that was parked on the side of the road, the cops did the same thing. Run up onto him with the guns drawn. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. He wasn't going nowhere. He was parked. The car wasn't moving. He was off to the side. Just like that kid was. That was just a horrible accident. How do you know he wasn't in that car with his neck broken? And you just yank him out and slam him on the ground like that, guns drawn. Or that he wasn't having a seizure or a stroke. Like, these types of scenarios, I feel like they just need more training or something. I don't know.
Police officers getting the information from a vehicle that they just pulled over. The officer is standing on the side of a busy road. Suddenly, out of nowhere, there's a large crash. The officer's vehicle is hit by a drunk driver and the vehicle is sent flying, hitting the officer. The footage abruptly cuts off due to the car damaging the camera. The officer was rushed to the hospital to be treated for his injuries.
That
Car is
shit
dragged by
flew
train.
at him.
This footage, taken by a police vehicle dash camera, shows an SUV pinned underneath a passing train. The train slows to a stop, but the SUV stays underneath it. The officer frantically calls another officer to make sure that the conductor of the train knows the situation and doesn't start moving again. 2 people were trapped inside the vehicle and had to be taken to the hospital because of their injuries. Before we played the last clip, though, you've watched this far,
How the
so why not
hell do you
consider
get
subscribing
stuck
to our
underneath a
channel?
train like
I
that?
post 2 new scary videos every week, so subscribe to make sure you
Like,
stay
look
up
at
to
its
date
back
with new
tires.
releases.
Like, they weren't even,
Officers
didn't even look like
respond
they
to
were on
call
a
about
street.
mysterious creature. This video shows body cam footage of officers responding to multiple calls of a terrifying creature walking around a neighborhood. The calls say that the creature is 8 or 9 feet tall and sort of gorilla-like.
Slender Man.
Teenagers may find they're not sure what the figure is. The size of a gorilla and it's blocking the entrance to a complex.
The officers find the creature and exit their vehicle to investigate. It turns out that the creature is just a man walking around in a very scary costume.
Yeah, you are getting the unknown gorilla type of animal that is walking.
It's easy to see why so many calls were made to the police station. The costume is horrifying and very large.
That is a
The
scary
man is
ass
very nice to the
costume.
officers and tells them that he'll be more careful where he walks while in costume.
What? Oh my goodness. That. Sorry, I'll be more careful where I'm walking in this 19-foot crazy ass costume. Wow. Man, so see, that's why I keep binge watching these videos. I keep finding different channels and different videos, and they get either more crazy or more creepy or more intense, or like the ones with the the ones with the babies hit home with me, man, every time. What would you do? I could just title every one of these videos, what would you do? Or I'd be shitting my pants. I could just caption all these videos the same. I don't know what else. Another one. Mind blown. Now we're about to go find another one. I hope you guys hit that subscribe button. Drop a like. Leave a comment. Let me know if you want to see more of these. Because I'm about to go find some more to react to. And I hope to catch you on the next one. Peace.